Hi, Scott Tipton, and we'd like to be able to give you an update on what we're doing in Washington as we close out this current Congress. And before I begin, I would like to express my deep appreciation and how humbled I and my family are for the trust that has been given to us by the people of the 3rd Congressional District to be able to cast your vote in Washington, D.C. We're going to continue to fight to make sure that we're getting our people employed, to be able to get this economy moving, and standing up for the values that are so important for our 3rd Congressional District. As we close out this Congress, we have a variety of issues that we're currently dealing with. As many of you are probably aware, U.S. Fish and Wildlife has listed the Gunnison Sage Grouse as a threatened species. This is going to be impacting approximately 1.7 million acres of land in Colorado and in the state of Utah. Many of us have a deep concern that this is a preamble for further listing of the greater sage grouse, which would encompass 11 states and better than 180 million acres around those 11 states. You know, in the state of Colorado, we've come up with some good ideas. Have the scientific evidence to be able to demonstrate that through the state of Colorado, through our local communities, through our local counties, through the efforts that are being made by our farm and ranch community, that we are going to be able to have a sustainable program to be able to reinvigorate that species. But as we continue to see, there are some in Washington that think that Washington knows best with a top-down approach. Recently we had Secretary Jewell of the Department of Interior before the Natural Resources Committee. When I questioned her and asked for a target number in terms of achieving sustainability and recovery on the species, the Department of Interior doesn't even have a number. When I further questioned about the potential of being able to get the species lifted in the state of Colorado, if we had a number and could achieve that, would that listing be lifted? There was still no answer. It would still be listed as potentially endangered species. So these are the challenges that we see coming out of Washington. I stood with my good friend and now our Senator-elect Cory Gardner in putting forward legislation to be able to allow that bottom-up approach, the homegrown approach, which we've demonstrated is actually achieving the result that we can all embrace, actually recovering the species. Right now, we fully support the actions by our governor in the state of Colorado in terms of a judicial challenge to this listing, and we're going to continue to work to get Congress involved in that rulemaking process to actually have a vote by supporting once again the REINS Act, which we've discussed in a number of these updates. Today we also had the vote on the Keystone Pipeline. I'm encouraged to see that Senator Reid, even though we're closing out this current session, has decided to take up one of the better than 350 pieces of legislation that we've passed through the House of Representatives, 3 of our bills, with bipartisan support. The Keystone Pipeline is an opportunity to help invigorate North American energy security, the potential for creating 42,000 jobs, and they are shovel-ready and do not require federal funds. This is a good common sense approach to be able to put Americans back to work, and we'll always argue that if you're going to be doing it in an all of the above in an environmentally sensitive way, no one in the world will do better than we will right here in the United States of America. So this is a piece of legislation that we're very encouraged on. Also pleased to be able to see an important piece of legislation for Southwest Colorado with Hermosa Creek. We'd had a piece of legislation we were able to move through committee in the House of Representatives, and now Senator Bennett has been able to move a piece of legislation on Hermosa Creek through the Senate. And it has brought together a very diverse group of communities in Southwest Colorado, being able to provide for multiple use on those lands, and the most important issue that everyone can agree on, being able to protect that very sensitive watershed in the Hermosa Creek area. We're hopeful and confident that that legislation, which has been now supported by these very diverse groups, will go ahead and reach fruition with the lands package, which will be coming up before the end of this congressional session. So those are a few of the issues that we're currently working on in Washington. We certainly want to express again our thanks for the support that we received in our district and the opportunity to be able to serve. Please feel free, as always, to contact our offices in Washington, Grand Junction, Durango, the San Luis Valley, and in Pueblo, with the challenges and issues that we're seeing at home. And we look forward to seeing you as we approach these holiday seasons.